notoriously not spent money for 50 years.
Money is green and is Vegas.
That's right.
That is right.
And look, that stadium is on the Strip. Like, it is right there. It's pretty cool. So
it's going to be interesting to see
Instead
what
of the Diamondbacks, they could be the Greenbacks.
There you go.
There you
Perfect.
go. Yeah. I just hope they don't do something stupid like call them the Las Vegas Gamblers or something. That sounds.
Instead of the Aces, they'll be the Queens.
One of our red,
the Kings.
One of our Red 7Ts phone lines said, "How about the prosthetics?"
Nice.
That's what they could call them. There we go. So that's
the Kings will be when the basketball team goes there. That's what it'll be.
I didn't like that. I was
okay
okay with
the Sacramento
Seattle.
Kings can't do that.
Yeah, that's true. I was okay with the whole Seattle getting a team, but
Yeah, Las Vegas is probably
every sports league right now wants to be in Vegas. With the way they've all embraced gambling, they all want to be in Vegas.
Yeah, it helps.
And look, Vegas is it's an entertainment town and a sports town.
It is.
Their arena's right on the Strip, right behind the Park MGM. The football is right back off of behind the Mandalay Bay. The baseball stadium's going to be right there on the Strip. Vegas has got it, man.
Yeah, it's going to be popping, and people like Brian like to go there.
I do.
Well, let's talk about it a little bit. We had to see the SEC go out with Tennessee. As far as knowing that the SEC did not show very well in the tournament, did the Texas Longhorns do something for the SEC by making their run, and did the Texas Longhorns put people on notice that possible money that we all talk about, because we don't want to call them Cinderella? Everybody, just so you know, everybody disagreed with me. I was the lone stander
we're smart.
in the Cinderella bid, although their record showed that they were
You're
Cinderella.
young. You didn't come up with the actual Cinderella story. That's the thing.
That's good. I like it. That's why I keep you around, because I love you calling me young. But are we looking at a future with Sean Miller, who's coached a lot of basketball and been successful, or now we looking at Texas starting to add their name to the list of the SEC possibility of starting to make a big splash in this March Madness coming soon?
I'll be honest with you. I didn't think they should have made the tournament. I mean, they played great once they were in it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure they should have made the tournament. So we're only 4 games removed from what I thought was a very underwhelming season for Texas.
Yeah, very underwhelming.
So I don't know. Now, do they have the resources, and is everybody changing their entire roster over every year? Sure. So could they do it? Absolutely. But I think we're suffering from a little bit of recency bias, which we all do in sports.
Yeah.
But I just don't think Texas was all that good this year. They just got on a good run, I guess, at the right time. But, man, I don't know if I'd have had them in the tournament, to be honest with you.
It takes 1 or 2 5 stars or 1 or 2 transfers from somebody like BYU or somewhere else. You snarked your nose when I started talking about it. You started waving your hands. Give us what you're thinking about that.
I have 3 things to say. The first thing is this Final Four might as well be called the Big Four. You know why? Got 1 team coming out of the Big East, 1 team coming out of Big 12, and 2 teams coming out of Big 10. Everything's big. There's no ACC. There's no SEC. Do you see the depression on my face?
Yeah.
These I don't want to say these are my teams, but they kind of are my teams. I kind of like watching these teams. And then the SEC was not defeated once Florida went down or Vandy lost to Nebraska. It was not that way. We put 4 teams, advance to the Sweet 16, correct?
Yeah.
Tennessee pulled 2 upsets.
Yeah.
Alabama went as far as they possibly could go because
right.
Michigan's Michigan, right?
Right.
And then Arkansas did what some people didn't think that they could do. But there were 3 teams that really, I don't want to say impressed me. They were upset artists. Illinois, Iowa, and Texas. Those are the 3 upset artists. You don't call them Cinderellas. I understand it. But these are the 3 teams that we should say kudos. You did a lot better than anybody thought you could. And the ACC has been trounced. Clemson got upset in the first round. Virginia didn't go as far as we thought they would. I mean, North Carolina lost to VCU, for God's sake. And now Duke. The ACC should be crying right now because they're like 5th or 6th fiddle as far as conferences go. This is awful for their conference.
Okay,
and this is their sport.
I know, but let me pull you back in. The question's about the SEC.
I know, but
what do you think about Texas? Are they going to be
Texas? Another one of the 4 or 5 teams that we could possibly talk about.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all they are. Just another one of the teams. Did Tennessee go further?
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it going to be a
Bama?
flash in the pan, though? Is it going to be a flash in the pan? Or is this going to be something that you're going to say, okay, Texas, we remember the year, the 2026 year, that Texas finally got into the tournament?
Yeah, that was a one-off.
They weren't supposed to be. So you're just thinking, this is just a one thing that's going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think a flash in the pan is going to describe a Kentucky, a Texas, an Alabama, teams that have shown they will spend the money. To go out in their athletic department. Flash in the pan is going to be more likely a school like a Mississippi State, who's been to a Final Four before, thank you very much, but a Mississippi State who might just catch lightning in a bottle with a couple of guys who've been there 3 years. They really put together a great run one year and do that because they don't have the resources to do it year in, year out. That's going to be your flash in the pan. So I don't know, in the same way I wouldn't call Texas a Cinderella, I don't think you could call them a flash in the pan because I think they have the resources to do it every year, whereas there are some schools that maybe don't have that and are more likely to fall under that moniker, if you will.
But they're focused at other sports. They're not a basketball school.
Sure.
Texas is not.
No, I agree.
In Kentucky, guess what?
But
basketball's king.
But Texas has also shown they will spend in every athletic endeavor.
They want to be everything.
They just won a national championship in swimming. I mean, those guys, they're in line for one in baseball.
Baseball's looking good.
Football, they're going to be top 5 next year. I mean, they're willing to spend everywhere.
That's the question.
Yeah.
That's where we've got to look because everybody's starting to do that. You've got some of these schools, so Alabama and their basketball program, they went out and got Nate Oates, and they started pouring money into it. Now it's a profitable entity of the university. Like, it's profitable. Not just $1 million, it's several $1 million now that it's making profit. So are the other teams going to take note and start bringing in coaches that they're going to pay a lot of money, and then they're going to give them their budget, and then they're going to set them up to be able to compete? Just what Michigan's doing. Michigan's doing the same thing. You call Michigan a football school all day long, but in a hockey school,
Texas,
look at what they're doing. They're putting money into other entities, and now all of them are going up because the money being spent.
I'll be honest with you, above any other university I think I can think of, I think Texas funnels money into every sport better than just about anybody. Florida's close. I was going to say like UCLA, but they really don't make smart hires in football.
Right.
And their AD gets in the way.
Well, Stanford's the same way.
Yeah, Stanford has a huge endowment
Yeah.
that covers their entire athletic department, which doesn't. Now, Stanford is hampered by their academic standards
True.
to get in. But Texas, if you think about it, Alabama has put money into basketball. They really have put very little into baseball. They finally did a stadium thing, but they've had success in baseball. They're not putting it in there. They're not putting it in some of the Olympic sports. They'll put it in gymnastics, because that one really isn't costing them that bad. But Auburn won't put it quite into everything. And you see that a lot. Texas will put it absolutely everywhere. And even more than A&M, even more than LSU, which spends pretty well on athletics and former coaches and everything else. But Texas, I think, is another animal when it comes to what they will spend across their entire athletic department. That's why I don't think you can count them out in any sport.
So if we're talking about 5 teams in the SEC, and this year, obviously, we're talking about Florida, Tennessee, Arkansas, Vandy, and who was the other one?
Alabama.
Yes, those 5 teams. If we can only talk about 5 SEC teams, and you don't think that Kentucky has a possibility to slip in, what teams would fall out? Vandy? I mean, because I don't think it's Texas that's going to be replacing another team. If Kentucky replaces Vandy in that top 5 conversation, who is Texas going to replace? Bama? I don't know. You tell me.
It really depends.
Because Barnes is a great coach at Tennessee.
Right. It depends on. It exactly depends on that. You know that you got Barnes. You know that you got to go by the coaches.
Yeah.
You got Barnes. You got Calipari. You've got Oates. You got Golden. So those are the 4 guys. If those 4 guys stay at that place, they're going to be in. So you count those 4 no matter what.
And you don't think Kentucky's going to be back?
And you don't know if Kentucky's going to be back because of the coaching. And you still got Georgia sitting over here that made it.
Yeah.
You still got Texas that has a coach that's better than Pope. That's won more games
that's what I was going to say.
Pope.
Ironically, I mean, he's not to the same level as necessarily all of those guys, but in terms of big names in the sport, Sean Miller's up there.
Sean Miller, yes, absolutely.
So you think that Texas has a better chance of replacing like a Vanderbilt in that top 5 conversation?
100%.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt fits my flash in the pan thing. They really do. They're not going to be a year in, year out basketball program.
Because can you name their head basketball coach right now?
I
Okay,
cannot.
exactly. And that's why they're getting these guys. You can name Patino, you can name Izzo, you can name all these guys that has so much success. That's why they're staying around. But then when you look at these guys that aren't staying around, that their programs aren't doing, that's why you got to add him to the group. And then you're going to have Georgia because of their hire at coach, and then you've got Sean Miller sitting over there that's won, like he said, a bunch of ball games, and that's where it's going to follow. So yes, Kentucky could be behind the 8 ball if they don't watch it, and Texas could be the one that fills their spot.
And then in the middle, you have Texas A&M and Oklahoma.
Yeah,
So you got some outliers.
Yeah, you got some that
even Ole Miss made a run.
Yeah, that could have, and there's a coach. There's another coach that's been successful. So that's where you got it across the board. So just like this year, now you're looking at a normal rate based off of their out-of-conference schedule, based off of what they do in conference. If they split, that's why it's so important to have these other teams outside of your conference. That's why Golden did it this year. He played all these tough teams so that if he does beat one or two of those, he can throw a couple of games in his own conference, and because he's got those big wins, he can still get the at-large stuff that he needs in case he doesn't win in the conference.
Or in this case, it was losses, big losses.
Yeah.
Because they lost 6 games and they were against good teams.
Right, but they ran the table in the conference.
Yeah.
But had he had one or two and dropped a couple more, he would have been safe.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at Stephen Pearl, he wasn't safe because why? He got ate up in the conference. And that's what happened to him. He played some teams. He won a couple of games, but he wasn't able to win the conference because the conference actually is getting tough. And that's the thing about the Big Ten. The conference of the Big Ten probably ate some of its own teams because of how strong it was throughout the year.
The funny thing is, if you look at the SEC from what we expected coming in, I think, honestly, short of Florida, they did about what they could do.
Yeah.
It wasn't a great year for SEC basketball. So anyone coming in thinking we were going to get 5 teams in the Elite 8 and 2 or 3 in the Final Four, that's unrealistic. Florida was the one thing because that was the only really, really good team in the conference. So, they probably should have gotten to the Final Four. Outside of that, I think the conference was about right. They had 4 teams in the Sweet 16. Were there more than 4 ranked in the top 16 at the end of the year? I doubt it. You had Tennessee made it through the Elite 8. I doubt outside of Florida there should have been another team there.
But
so
we mentioned
it's about what they should have done. It wasn't a good year overall for SEC basketball. It's not like they laid an egg in the tournament.
Right.
But we mentioned it before Arkansas even played Arizona. We said if Arkansas is playing anybody else but Arizona, they're in the Elite 8. They could be playing any 2 or 3 seed, and they would have got there, and we'd be talking differently about Arkansas.
But like I'm saying, they were a 4. They got where they should have got.
Maybe a 3. I think they probably deserved it.
Yeah, but even then, they're going to go out in the Sweet 16.
I don't know. They could have possibly.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But expectations is my point. I thought the SEC did about what they should have done. Short of Florida.
To me, the only disappointment, other than of course Florida, just 1 game flaw. Was I thought Vandy was going to beat Nebraska, and that was my other disappointment. But they were 5 against a 4, so we knew it was going to be close.
Yeah, and that's where the matchup thing just kind of kills you. And that's why with Arkansas, they did not match up with Arizona. If you heard Cal talking after the game, he's like, man, it's just like Florida. They were so much bigger than us. This was always going to be a problem. He almost conceded the victory before the game anyway because he knew they had to do exactly the same thing with Alabama. They were going to have to shoot 45 to 50% from three-point line, or else they had no chance of matching up with Michigan. And Arkansas was the same way. No chance. Now, there's a possibility that Arizona and Michigan are the 2 best teams in the tournament. A lot of people are saying that. We're saying that from the beginning.
We were saying that, a long
we
while
were
ago.
saying that from the Sweet 16, and that doesn't make us smart. It just makes us capable of seeing what's going on.
Eyes.
Yeah, but really when you look at how good those two teams are, yeah, if you got on their side of the bracket, you're just out of luck, unfortunately. But the other side is that, could Florida had made a better they still just lost by a little bit. Yeah.
In the irony, the two weakest seeds that did not meet expectations was obviously the 8.
Yeah.
They all lost the 9s. And the 5s. Wisconsin went down the first round. Texas Tech really wasn't that good. They got to the second round and got beat by Bama. And then St. John's is the only one that impressed. And then Vanderbilt went down. So we had 3 5s that, they really were not up to par. Mm-hmm. St. John's put Duke to, a 5-point win?
Yeah.
I mean, that was the only one that was really impressive, and I thought that was going to go
close.
far.
It was close, and it made me think. I watched the whole game. I was like, is Pitino going to pull it out or not? Yeah. And that's because that's how you can do games. But either way, we're going to go ahead and take our next break. When we come back, we should be talking about PCB Hobby in the building. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text us now on the Red 7T studio line. 850-215-6290. It's the PCB Hobby Takeover with Todd. Mondays at 5:20 on ESPN Northwest Florida.
That is a very high-end card and very rare.
Todd talks about coins, trading cards, collectibles, and the amazing stories behind them.
It was the first one that's ever come through my door.
Plus, we'll be taking your calls and questions at 850-215-6290. The PCB Hobby Takeover.
A platform for you to do your hobby.
Mondays at 5:20 on the Sports Talk Monster. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Good evening, this is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. A variety of slight fog and partly cloudy skies tonight with a wind around 5 miles per hour coming out of the east-southeast and a low of 66. Tomorrow morning, look for some sun with a temperature near 74. The afternoon and evening, a high around 75 and some sun. Wednesday, hot with a high of 76 and slight fog. This weather forecast is brought to you by Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Los Rancheros has been doing it right for 20 years. Los Rancheros brings a top-shelf dining experience to you with the opening of their beautiful new building. Watch all college and pro games on Los Rancheros' 14 large-screen TVs with great drink specials daily from 2 to 5 and during all the games. Los Rancheros, the place for live sports and great food on 23rd Street between Jenks and Harrison.
Hi friends, my name's Amy McGowan and I'm a local residential realtor in Bay County with LPT Realty. I would love to help you buy, sell, or find your next investment property in Panama City Beach or the surrounding areas. Please call me today at 850-775-7885 or find me on my website at amyinpcbsellsre.com.
Lanier in transition, hits the three, and a sign of life from Knoxville. Playing, driving right. Lob from Brazil and a two-hand slam.
6 on the clock. Now with 5. He drives on Maddox. Right elbow with 3. Spins to the foul line. Jumper up and it rattles in at the buzzer.
Don't miss any of this year's action on the road to the Final Four with Westwood One's exclusive coverage of the men's NCAA tournaments.
Listen live exclusively on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
The phone lines are open, the opinions are flowing, and the arguments are just getting started.
You cannot give LSU extra opportunities. With just one loss, they can sneak in there. They're playing championship football.
The Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson is back, and we're putting you in the game.
He has not turned the ball over.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Welcome back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, your spot for Atlanta Braves baseball. That's right. They are back right after the show tonight. They play what some people say they don't know where they're from, but they're still called the Oakland Athletics.
Athletics from nowhere.
So right now they are Oakland, and tomorrow they might be something else. But hopefully tonight they will be the losing team of the battle at Truist Park. So tune in right here to 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida to listen to the Bravos tonight. I'm excited about it. But either way, We are going to talk to Brian, our PCB hobby insider. How's it been going? What's been going on at the shop?
Whew, busy.
Yeah.
Spring break is full effect, and
Yes.
We've got a lot of people in. We had a great crowd today, actually, people coming in, and it's been everything. People have been buying boxes and packs, and people have been buying. A guy bought a bunch of singles today, a lot of our higher-end stuff like that. But then an hour later, we were able to buy some more stuff. Like it's that never-ending thing. So it's fun to come in and just see, because on a daily basis, we may turn over a good bit of the showcases with stuff like that at this time of year. So it's been great meeting people. We had people in from Indiana, people in from Tennessee, people in from Georgia, just a lot of different people come down. Of course, all of our locals keep coming out. So it's been really busy. In terms of product releases, it's I think I talked about it last week. It's kind of a little bit of a lull on the baseball side. So much of the air gets sucked up by Series 1 coming out. You guys talked about the eggs.
Yeah.
What they do that for Easter, and they do different promotions like that at different times. That's been fun. But as far as new baseball products, there really isn't anything. There's a product called Transcendent.
Mm-hmm.
It's transcendent in what it'll do to your wallet. It's a $15,000 thing.
What?
But it comes with an invitation to their big, like it's the highest of the high end that they do.
You want to split one?
Yeah, that's not a product that the general public's going to be running.
You want me to pay for it because your wife's not going to put anything in it.
Right.
She's not listening right now.
Yeah.
But short of that, we really don't have much coming right now on baseball. Now, in a couple of weeks, you'll start seeing Topps Chrome Black. You'll start seeing some new products coming out. What's going on right now for the next 2 weeks is really very WWE focused as we're getting close to WrestleMania. There's a product that will drop on Wednesday. It's in the shop now, so I've seen it. It's landed. It's called WWE Exalted. Mm-hmm. It's a little bit of a higher-end product. It's going to be in the $300 and something box for hobby. 5 high-end cards, a couple autographs. The relics in WWE are great. Like they'll give you pieces of the mat from, and they'll tell you what match it was from, or the tights. The robes.
That's what Jeff wants. He wants some of the tights.
Do, yeah.
Hulk Hogan's tights.
Yeah, exactly.
Ugly colors.
And then on April the 10th, WWE Topps Chrome comes out. That's the benchmark product. So you've got a lot of stuff going on with that. Topps has announced a bunch of buyback programs. We have the MVP buyback in basketball. So Topps Chrome Basketball, the MVP winner, much like in baseball. Those will be able for store credit. WWE Topps Chrome, when it comes out, they're going to announce a couple of championship matches at WrestleMania. The winner will be available for buyback. For English Premier League, they're doing the Golden Boot winner, the guy who scores the most goals, will be available for buyback. So it's such a popular program, they're starting to run it out across a ton of different products. But the real story,
all right, I'm listening. Here we go,
is going to be, it is March 30th.
Okay.
Topps basically picks up the football license in 2 days.
2 days.
Oh, wow.
Now, that doesn't mean they're going to have a product drop on April the 1st.
Why not?
Because it's April Fool's.
They literally can't do any kind of promotion yet or anything like that. The Topps Industry Conference starts next Monday. It's where I will be. Now, I'll be able to call in before it starts, and it's in the Phoenix, or the Cardinals Stadium, the Arizona Cardinals Stadium.
Fantastic.
So it's going to be very football focused. All indications are they're going to bust out a couple of 2025 products pretty quickly. So Shadur Sanders, Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, that rookie class, Jackson Dart, Scatabo, they're going to run a few things out of that for maybe 2-3 months. Then it all goes to 2026 class where they're going to be the only dog that has the licensing.
Yeah.
We're talking Topps Chrome. And based on what they're doing with Bowman, it looks like they're going to wrap the college first Bowmans into the pro product the way they do in baseball. That's going to be huge to elevate those first Bowmans. That's a huge thing in baseball. It's been a neat kind of tertiary thing in football and basketball because that's very college driven.
Yeah.
What they do is when guys get drafted but go into the minor leagues, they'll give them a first Bowman.
Yeah.
Like that. And those carry huge weight. The football and the basketball have not necessarily translated because it's been a college-only product. If they wrap it into the pro product and more people are going to have access to it because they're chasing both, it's really going to elevate that. So they're definitely doing that in basketball and Bowman, and that's going to drop in about 3 weeks.
Yeah.
But the idea is they might do that in football, and all of those of us who love college football, that's going to be pretty neat.
That's more of a Southern thing, though.
Oh, it's definitely more of a Southern thing, but that's what I mean. Wrapping, if it's a standalone product, it's going to be very regionally based.
Yeah.
But the fact that they wrap them together, and I haven't seen for sure they're going to do that in football, but the fact they're doing it in basketball tells me they're going to. I think it exposes more people chasing that first Bowman college football. It might get a little more interest in the college product than it would have if it was a separate standalone product.
So that deal you're going to in Arizona, now you've been to those a lot.
I went 2 years ago.
Okay, so you went
That's
2
right.
years ago. Who was at that one?
So that one was in Atlanta at the College Football Hall of Fame, which is a really cool place
Yeah, it
if
is
you've
good.
never been. I actually got to meet and take a picture with Thurman Thomas, with Andrew Jones, which was
Nice.
great being in Atlanta. Now, Bill, who got to go last year, one-upped me
Yeah.
because there were a couple athletes, but Bill sent me a picture of him with WWE star Tiffany Stratton, who is not bad looking.
Wow.
And that one hurt my feelings when he sent me that because I couldn't go last year. So Bill has one-upped me on that. So I'm really hoping maybe they send Rhea Ripley to this one that I can one-up him back. But no, it's really cool. And with the way it's dropping right in the middle of them acquiring football,
Yeah.
the first full year of them acquiring
It's got to be
basketball,
somebody football.
I think they're going to have some heavy hitters at
Yeah.
this one. So that should be a lot of fun.
I know I said it, and I'm going to say it because I just want to say it. I would bet, and I'm not a betting guy, but if I was, I say Brady's going to be there. Brady,
I think
Tom Brady.
I think it's very likely. He has a deal with Fanatics. He's
Yeah.
also opened a bunch of card shops himself. I can't say for sure.
We're done with
that. Would be neat.
We're done with the pro days at all the colleges. Now, we've got, next month starts the NFL draft process stuff. It would not surprise me if he's there.
If there's money involved, Emmitt Smith will be there. Emmitt Smith. He's all about the
Don't forget
dollar.
now, he played a year with the
He did
Arizona
play with
Cardinals.
Arizona. So being at a location, I don't know where
I don't
he's
know.
at now.
Based on all the time I spent in DFW a couple weeks ago, and I saw all the ads for that casino in Durant, Oklahoma, with Emmitt Smith's face all over it. I think
He's in
lives there.
Oklahoma.
I think he lives
No,
there.
he lives in Texas.
No, I know.
We're joking.
I'm
We're
messing. They have their rotating thing. It's always Emmett and Darren Woodson, and there were a couple guys. Their advertising budget is not small. Let me put it that way. But no, there's a lot of cool stuff. I mean, for those of you who are Marvel fans, there's actually a neat product dropping Wednesday as well. Topps Chrome Deadpool. Like the movie Deadpool. And they're going to have some cool stuff there. I don't know if Ryan Reynolds has autographs in it or not, but boy, if he does, that's pretty cool. And they do have a lot of big actors who do that stuff. But Deadpool, one of the huge characters in the Marvel Universe, and certainly really relatable to younger people. They've really taken on to Deadpool. So that one's going to be a fun release. That's in shop now, but again, it doesn't drop until Wednesday. But like I said, so much is going to be answered next week at the industry conference, and how they're going to roll out football. It's going to be really exciting to see.
Let me ask you this, because I've been seeing it. Obviously, my algorithms, because of us doing this, I always try to prepare, always try to have stuff that I can ask you questions on. And it's been perking my interest here lately. What is going on with the baseball mascot cards that are coming out that are getting autographs from the baseball mascots?
Yeah, so
it's
one
just
of the
crazy.
So one of the fun ones this year is there's a dual auto of Mr. and Mrs. Met. I actually, in my personal collection, own an autograph of the original San Diego Chicken.
Okay.
I just think that's cool. It's
That
a very
is cool.
iconic. I grew up, kind of a Yankees and Braves fan. Everybody in the South grew up a Braves fan.
Smart.
But the San Diego Chicken and the Philly Fanatic just hit differently.
they're
those
crazy.
are iconic kind of mascots. So I actually came across this autograph. I just wanted it. I thought it was cool for me. But they're leaning into it because they're fun.
Yeah.
And that's what sometimes, as much as it's great to, hit a big card and make money on it and all like that, that's great. But sometimes it just needs to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
The mascot cards are cool, and they're fun, and they're different. And the autographs are even crazier.
Yeah.
Because they're of people, you have no idea who's
No.
under that. Nobody in here can name who's in a mascot suit. Their mothers probably don't know half of them.
Yeah.
But it's neat that you're going to see that. And you're like, oh, my God, I got a Mr. Met auto. That's cool. You might want, if you're a Mets fan, you might want a Juan Soto auto. Well, he's in every product. Mr.
Right.
Met's in one.
Yeah.
So it's just different. It's fun. It's collectible. It's interesting. that's what excites me about the hobby. It's great that there's big money involved in it. It's great that Kevin O'Leary wears a card to the Oscars around his neck.
Yeah.
But the fun of it. And sometimes it's little things like this. That's, to me, what makes it so exciting to be a part of.
What was cool, and I don't think you were here when we discussed it, but we had a segment talking about, because the Savannah Bananas had moved, had a show in Tallahassee at the Doak Campbell Stadium, and we talked about it, and I made a side comment about how that it was just basically Magic Mike playing baseball, and I'd put that video clip of us talking about and laughing and talking about it on my Twitter and my other social media. And the mascot from the Savannah Bananas somehow came across it. And he commented on my video and said, Paul, you should come to the event before, and talk about it again.
I think it speaks more to what you were hoping it would be.
And
I'm
touch with his feminine side.
Look, if you put it on a tee, I'm going to hit it.
Gross.
But no, I heard you go into that. It was kind of funny.
It's
what's
really
funny?
funny
I
about
consider
those guys.
myself generally kind of a baseball purist. I still don't like interleague play. I liked it when they were separate. I still don't like the DH. I mean, there are things that I don't like, and I'm the get off my lawn kind of guy when it comes to that. So everybody would think I hate the Savannah Bananas. I actually think they're good for the game in terms of making it. They are the Harlem Globetrotters of baseball.
Yeah.
And I think they're good for the game. It's not my cup of tea. I'd go see them, probably have a good time.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the tradition and the history of baseball. But I do think they're good for the game and that they do make it entertaining and fun to bring new people into the game and young people into the game. I think it's great. They put on a wonderful show. They're obviously talented. They may not be big league roster talent, but they're talented at what they do.
Yeah, they're good at it.
In the way that Curly Neal and Meadowlark Lemon and that I know those names from the old Harlem Globetrotters. So even though everything says I wouldn't like them, I do, and I think they're good for it, and I think you should go see them.
Yeah, and the thing is
especially since you want to see them with their shirts on.
I don't want to see them with their shirts off. And then when you look at what they do to the kids, like, of course, my son's playing. I'm talking about
where's this going?
When they
that was
watch,
an unfortunate choice of phrase.
when they watch those kids, when they watch those guys play, they try to emulate them at practice.
Yeah.
So they're trying behind the backs, and they're trying, and so they're not going with the fundamental stuff. So that's kind of part.
Yeah,
like,
the first time a kid in a high school game, a high school district championship game, bats a ball up in the air and tries to catch it in a shirt. That's not going to go well for him. But no, I mean, it is. It's fun. It's interesting. It's good to bring people into the game. Look, baseball is on a wonderful trajectory right now.
Yeah.
And I love it because I've been a fan my whole life, and it was in a really bad place through most of the 2010s. It was not a good game. And it has really come around. There's some great young talent. There's a lot of great interest. And despite Rob Manfred and his idiocy, we've got some good things going on in the sport of baseball. I'm not as big a fan of the robot ump. But whatever. I mean, I like where the sport is right now.
Boy, is it making a big difference to the umpires. The umpires hate the robo-ump, and I'm just telling you.
They should.
But last night, I mean, he missed it twice in the same at-bat.
Royals.
That's what's crazy. So I'm more for, as well as I do, I umpire little kids, I umpire older kids, whatever. But when you get it wrong and now we've got a way to check you because for so many years, they always would be like, oh, this umpire, he did this and did that. But every year, year after year, no matter how bad he did the year before, he most of the time did not get downgraded to go back to the training board and get back somewhere where he can learn how to be a better umpire. No, he's back on opening day. He's back doing the same thing and making the same mistakes. Now, these guys better make sure they're ready, because if not, we're going to tap our head, and everybody. It is crazy. It's a phenomenon. I know you don't like it. I know you're a centrist. I know you're a traditionalist on all of that. But when everybody stops what they're doing, I don't care if they're taking a big bite of their hot dog or taking a big drink of whatever they're drinking, and they look at the screen, it is exciting, and it has caused baseball to be a little bit more exciting. And I love baseball. I love it as fundamentals. I love the whole game as a sport. It is awesome.
I'm for fairness. And if it's fair that, the call gets rightly done by a robot, I'm all for it. I'm sorry.
I don't like stopping the flow of a game. I don't.
Well, it's like 10 seconds.
I don't like VAR in soccer. I don't like the stupid
basketball,
cyclops in tennis. I don't like any of that stuff.
The basketball irritates me too.
It's 10 seconds.
No, because what you're going to have more of is the Twins manager coming out and going, I'm arguing with a stupid computer or whatever. I mean, it's true. I don't, 160 years.
Didn't have it.
It was fine. And
but they also didn't have strikeouts back in like the 1800s.
Until Angel Hernandez stopped making bad calls, we're going to use the robo-ump. Give us the address and the hours of operation of the PCB Hobby.
Yeah, give it to me now when I'm angry. 11939 Panama City Beach Parkway in Panama City Beach. And I have the address now, 8972 Turkey Lake Road, Suite A700 there in Orlando, Florida. They've been doing a great job down there. Shout out to Drew.
Yes.
Down there at
the
one
of the managers?
in Orlando. Yeah, he's the guy who's running the shop there.
Orlando's busy.
But yeah, doing great, and always check us out on eBay Live. We are always running coins and comics and TCGs and sports. I'm sure we're going to shows coming up now. I have a hard time remembering where I am right now, but I can tell you I'll be heading out to the Tops Industry Conference, and I'm sure we're going to have guys going all over the country. But things are great down at PCB Hobby. Come check us out.
It's going to be awesome. When we come back, we are going to dive into – we're just going to keep you guessing. You'll see when we get back. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
Call or text in now on the Red 7T's studio line. 850-215-6290. They've got the heat, and we've got the call.
And he is toast. Swung on and missed.
With Chris Sale leading the charge and Spencer Strider bringing the fire back to the mound.
It is a 1-2-3 shutdown inning for Chris Sale.
The rotation is locked and loaded for 2026.
Struck him out. Went down and away with a nasty splitter.
Hear every masterpiece and every high heat save on your home for the Atlanta Braves. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you ready for another historic season at the bank? It's time to lock in your seats for 2026 by placing your deposit now. Next season will be played at Everbank Stadium, but seating capacity is limited due to in-bowl renovations, and spots are going fast. Don't miss out on your chance to see the season's biggest matchups and highlight real moments by placing your deposit at Jaguars.com/tickets or by calling 904-633-2000. Go Jags!
Looking for patriotic apparel that actually means something? Come visit Bales of Blue in the heart of Lynn Haven on Ohio Avenue. We carry top brands like Run Style and 9 Line, plus our own line of patriotic gear made for those who serve. Discounts for military and first responders because service deserves recognition. Stop by today on Ohio Avenue in Lynn Haven or shop online at balesofblue.com. Bales of Blue, patriotic apparel, gifts, and gear built for those who serve.
ESPN Northwest Florida advertisers get results.
Hi, this is Todd from PCB Hobby on Back Beach. Advertising with ESPN Northwest Florida has been a wonderful experience. Their staff is very knowledgeable and friendly. If you want to talk with customers like you never thought possible, reach out to the team at ESPN Northwest Florida. 850-215-4468.
Get results for your business. Call ESPN Northwest Florida, 850-215-4468.
The new Sports Blitz.
Oh, yes!
Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
We are back live and local right here at 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. You're listening to the Sports Blitz with Paul Wilson. You want to be a part of the show, you can be 850-215-6290, the Red 7T's phone line. Red 7T's, your spot for all things custom apparel. Recommended Collision Center, they are your spot for all things for your vehicle looking properly like it's supposed to off of the showroom floor. If you've been involved in an accident, you can go see those guys over at Recommended Collision Center. They will take good care of you. They will make sure that your vehicle is in tip-top shape. They will give you a free estimate. They do all insurance work, and they are local, and they take care of their customers because they believe in treating you like family. So go see them. Brandon, he comes on the show on Wednesdays. He is a great guy, and Recommended Collision Center is your spot for that. Guys, we got to talk about it. UNC's coaching job vacancy. Now, we've discussed a lot of different people.
I'm not taking
There's been a lot of discussion as of late that a certain NBA coach that's had a successful college career, not so much an NBA career, for the Chicago Bulls, Florida faithful, are you ready for Billy Donovan to come to the Tar Heels? Who did you think I was going with?
Joaquin Noah.
What? He's
that
not
was
a
the
coach.
Bull at Florida guy that you were. I was like 1 + 1 = 2. It's Joaquin Noah.
He was doing that. What's that kind of math they call it now in school? What's it called? Where you
Cajun math.
Common Core.
Common Core.
Oh,
yeah, you
wow.
were doing Common Core math.
Well, that's
1 + 1 don't always equal 2, Jeff.
Show your work.
Yeah. Show me how you got to that. Deduce. What was your deducing on that?
Oh gosh.
But yeah, Billy Donovan. I mean, for me, if I was the Tar Heels and Donovan says, hey, I'm open to talking and discussing it, absolutely. Why? Because Rick Pitino, because Tom Izzo, because Hurley, because Sean Miller, because these guys, Calipari, these guys know how to win in college. And they might have tried other things. I mean, look at what Pitino's done. He's went to the pros. It didn't work out so much, but he's come back. He had Iona in the tournament. Now look at what he's doing with St. John's, not counting all the stuff he did at Kentucky or Louisville. These guys, they are vampires. They'll be coaching basketball into their 80s, and it doesn't matter. So Billy Donovan, as old as he seems because he is whitened in hair, but he's still got good 20 years left. That could be a great hire for the Tar Heels and put them back on the map because, as you said earlier, the ACC was really damaged and really let down. Their only really person to the show was Duke. And when they lost, that was it. And now you're telling me that with the name recognition of Billy Donovan, and you know what he's going to do? He's going to bring Jordan back. He's going to bring Worthy back. He's going to bring all these stars back. Jason Tatum, or not Jason Tatum.
I doubt Jason Tatum.
He's not coming. The other guys that have always come through. He's going to bring Vince Carter back, and he's going to start getting all these young talent. And then you know what? North Carolina is a basketball school. As much as they got Billy Belichick over in the football side of things, don't be surprised, Billy Donovan.
It's certainly possible. There's enough smoke. It's a good job. I have a hard time believing any coach who's done this for 25, 30 years, like Billy Donovan has, wants to come back into the college system the way it is now. I mean, all we hear about are those guys are getting out of it because they don't like what it's become. Ironically, the pro game has become the long-term development league.
Right.
And college is the wide open free agency league. It's so different than it used to be. Billy Donovan made his name with those back-to-back championship teams at Florida. What was so unique about them? He got them to stay.
Yeah, got him to come back.
So maybe he could do that. Maybe I understand why North Carolina would like him. I don't know that it's a slam dunk. You're also talking about a guy who hadn't coached the college game in a very long time. So does he know the game of basketball? Sure. Has he had success? Yes. I just would be shocked if he wanted any part of the college game right now, just knowing he's a coach of that era. I don't see him wanting to do it. But again, I didn't think Lane was going to LSU. I mean, I've been wrong on these things.
Yeah.
But it would surprise me. I wouldn't say it would shock me. I don't know. That's the part I can't get past in my head is why would Billy Donovan want a part of today's college basketball? That's my question.
Yeah. And to answer that question is because you almost answered it for me. is I believe that the college game is more like the game that he left college to go to, and I think he would excel at this type of game. The NBA game, where and I'm not going to get sideways on it, but it's more or less, the stars shooting 50, 60 points, and that's kind of the deal. I still think there's a part of him that he went and tried it, and you can tell by the way he looks, he doesn't have that same fervor. You can blame it on age, you can blame it on that kind of stuff, but for me, I feel like there's a fervor that he had before he left that he doesn't have anymore.
I can't believe he hasn't gone into media. I think he'd be great at that.
Yeah.
I really do. And that's the part of it I'm surprised by, because I don't think it's so much he wanted to go to the NBA for a different kind of game. I think there is this trajectory you go on in a lot of upwardly mobile professions, coaching one of them, that if you feel like if you step off the escalator, you can't ever get back on. Billy had done what he could do in college like that. It's almost like there was nowhere to go but down. So why not, when you're the hot prospect, you're getting these offers to come to the NBA, let's give it a shot. Go do it. The fact that he stayed in it so long tells me he's comfortable there.
Yeah.
Like more so than I thought when Florida opened a few years back, there was a good chance he would come back. Didn't.
No.
So, okay. I don't know. Again, it wouldn't be the craziest thing I've ever seen. It would surprise me. To me, I could see him getting out and going into media more. But maybe he's just a guy who loves to have a whistle.
If he calls Pitino and asks him, which is his mentor, he played for Pitino at Providence, is he going to come back? Jeffrey, go ahead.
I mean, the only other coach I can even think of, because, this whole delay on not picking a person, the only other person I can think of is the Illinois coach. Because nobody else is leaving Purdue or any of these other schools that have been in the Elite Eight. It's the Illinois coach is the only one I can.
So you don't see Michigan going? You don't
Oh
see Dusty May
no!
going?
All these other coaches are where they want to be, or at a
ironically-
big school. They're getting support and everything. And I understand it's UNC, but there's a lot of pressure with that also. The Illinois coach is the only one I see in college ranks.
I could see Dusty May, but ironically, the talk on him right now is if Billy leaves the Bulls may be interested in Dusty May. So that one could be, quite interesting as well. I still think there is an outside possibility. It looks more and more like it's there's no, that's not outside. That's a real possibility.
Yeah.
But I think, and it's leaning more toward retirement, I still think there's something up with Bill Self. And it wouldn't shock me if they wanted to bring him in for 3 to 5 years.
Knowing what the college did by bringing in Bill Belichick, to me, this has to be a splash.
No, because Belichick hasn't proved anything yet.
But no. The name of Belichick. I'm not talking about what he's done.
Yeah.
I'm saying they've got to make a big splash in the pool, and it's going to be a big hire.
Okay.
Wouldn't you agree? Because if they're going to bring in a coach that they, St. Mary's coach or this coach or that coach, I don't see them going low level here. I see big name, whether it's Oates, whether it's Dusty May, whether it's Billy Donovan, Bill Self. Somebody. It's got to be a large name, because if they go small and it doesn't happen, are we going to be seeing the part of our lifetime that UNC loses its status of being a blue blood?
Yeah, that's quite possible. And then I don't want to say they'll never get into the SEC, because there's always that talk, about who's the SEC going to add next, and that's one of the big schools that's in the conversation.
Yeah.
So, do you think that, though, if they don't have a big hire, are we looking at a possibility of them going into the cellar for a long time?
Yeah, well, but the thing is, in today's game, you can turn it around so fast.
Yeah.
So it's not like, you have 2 bad recruiting classes and you're screwed for 4 or 5 years. It changes over every year now. So, yeah, it's not good. And I do think, like, the worst level name they would pick up is a Nate Oates or a Sean Miller kind of name.
Yeah.
I agree. Lowest. But that's also what you see typically. You see, when you deal with coaching hires at any level, what you see is the pendulum. Mm-hmm. Typically, what people don't hire the best person for the job, they hire the most opposite of what they just got rid of.
Yeah.
And so Hubert Davis was kind of a younger, less experienced, inside the program kind of guy. Sometimes that works. Didn't work here.
Yeah.
So now what they're going to probably go do is go outside, get a name, do like that. If that doesn't work, they'll look to the next young, up-and-coming thing. it was kind of like what we talked about, with some of the football hires. As you see that a lot of times, you will see people go out and try and get the opposite, especially when they fire somebody. Doesn't always work out that way, but I think that's what North Carolina is going to do. No, I don't think there's going to be any hire and we go, who? Wait, where's he from?
No, exactly.
No, I think we'll know.
Yeah.
So is the only reason why Nate Oates would leave Bama is just because they show him a whole suitcase of money?
It's
that and the draw of being able to not, I mean, whether you know this or not, like before Stephen Pearl got to Auburn, there was a real look at, I don't know if I want Auburn or Alabama. It wasn't a clear favorite. Well, when you go to North Carolina, you're automatically a clear favorite when you're battling these teams outside of Duke. I mean, there's nobody else.
You're right.
If you're a basketball coach at high-level Division I basketball, as much as I'm an Alabama fan, North Carolina is a better job in every way.
Yeah.
It just is.
Yeah.
Except for the fact that it's pressure and they'll get rid of somebody quicker.
That's what you want at high-level coaching.
When you're a high-level A personality, alpha-type male, and I'm not going to give in too much because tomorrow we're going to be having John Summerall's full interview that we did today at the 5 o'clock hour tomorrow, which I'm excited about. I asked him some of those questions, and that's the thing about it. It's like, I wanted this job. I want to be here. I want the pressure. And without saying too much about the interview, that's the kind of person that you want taking over your job for your big university that wants championships. And that's the kind of person Nate Oates is. So for these guys to, they had to say what they want. The interviews that they were doing during the Sweet 16 while they were about to play, that's exactly what you're going to say. And I hate to always talk about it, but, Coach Saban, I'm not going to Alabama. Within 2 weeks, he was on a plane touching down in Tuscaloosa. They have to say that because if they don't, they're about to play a game. Yeah. And they got to know.
If you're asking me to bet a important amount of money on who I think will be the North Carolina head coach next year, I think it's Nate Oates.
Yeah.
I really do.
Yeah, and you remember I said Nate Oates is probably going to be the guy. The only other option I could see is if Nate Oates says no and stays for whatever reason, maybe some kind of crazy. But Billy Donovan will be the guy.
They will not let it be Nate Oates turn them down.
No,
I guarantee you
no.
that will never come out that way. They will not want that. Even if it happens, they'll never let that story get out.
Yeah, for sure.
No,
but it's going to be a big splash. It's going to be the big deal. And why are you turning your head sideways?
Because I'm thinking of the way that people get treated at a university. That I think that if Nate Oates really likes the situation that he's in and he gets treated very well.
Family comfortability would be the only reason to stay.
And we've talked about people who want to live in the Research Triangle area, in North Carolina. Compared to like other places, some people prefer living in certain places. Some people can't handle the cold.
He wants to be, if he goes to that college, he wants to be there to wear that blue, that baby blue, and he wants to have that Jordan. He wants that Jordan sign on his jersey.
People don't get the chance to be the head coach at North Carolina.
No, they sure don't. That's
very
true.
Rare.
Well, thanks for joining. Tomorrow, you don't want to miss it. The interview with Coach John Summerall. Right here, 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida. We'll see you tomorrow, guys.
.3 ESPN Northwest Florida presents the madness of college basketball. 68 teams, 32 conference champions, but there can only be one. ESPN Northwest Florida is your exclusive radio home for the NCAA College Basketball Tournament.
Good evening, this is Joanna with your weather forecast from ESPN Northwest Florida on this Monday. A variety of slight fog and partly cloudy skies tonight with a wind around 5 miles per hour coming out of the east-southeast and a low of 66. Tomorrow morning, look for some sun with a temperature near 74. The afternoon and evening, a high around 75 and some sun. Wednesday, hot with a high of 76 and slight fog.